That's my last Dutchess painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. I call that piece a wonder now. Frau Pandolf's hands worked busily a day, and there she stands. Will't please you sit and look at her? I said Frau Pandolf by design, for never read strangers like you the pictured countenance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance. But to myself they turned, since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you, but I, and seemed as they would ask me, if the durst, how such a glance came there. So, not the first are you to turn and ask thus.
Wow, what a wonder.
Sir, 'twas not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into the Duchess's cheek. Perhaps Frau Pandolf chanced to say, her mantle laps over my lady's wrist too much, or paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half-flush that dies along in her throat. Such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and a cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. She had a heart, how shall I say? Too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. Sir, 'twas all one, my favor at her breast, the dropping of daylight in the west, the bow of cherries some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, the white mule she rode with round the terrace, all in each would draw from her alike the approving speech, or blush, at least. She thanked men, good, but thanked somehow, I know not how, as if she ranked my gift of a 900-years-old name with anybody's gift, who'd stoop to blame the sort of trifling. Even had you skill in speech, which I have not, to make your will quite clear to such an one, and say, just this, or that you disgust me, here you miss, or there exceed the mark, and if she let herself be lessened so, nor plainly set her wits to yours, forsooth, and made excuse, e'en, then be some stooping, and I choose never to stoop. Oh, sir, she smiled, no doubt, whene'er I passed her, but who passed without much the same smile? This grew, I gave commands, then all smiles stopped together. There she stands, as if alive. Will't please you rise? We'll meet the company below. I repeat, the Count you master's known munificence is ample warrant that no just pretense of mine for dowry will be disallowed. Though her fair daughter's self, as I avowed, at starting is my object. Nay, we'll go together down, sir. Notice Neptune, though, taming a seahorse thought a rarity, which Claus of Innsbruck casts a bronze for me.
For my last Duchess, I used the soapstone technique to analyze this poem. So the speaker is never clearly defined, but we can infer that he or she is someone of more nobility or royalty, and we can tell that it's in first person because it's first-hand accounts of or thoughts, like with the use of my and other first-person hints. And a lot of this poem is it seems that it's internal, like within the speaker's head, and not flat out spoken. The occasion is not directly stated, but Browning was most known for his writing and love of the Renaissance time frame, so this could be a valid assumption that this is the background occasion of this poem. But it's mostly about the speaker's thoughts and ideas, which make him seem psychotic because a lot of his thoughts and ideas are really controlling and commanding. The audience is, once again, never specified to a specific audience because some of it's internal, so it could be himself, but another, towards the end, it talks maybe like it seems that he's talking to someone, we don't know who, but maybe it's multiple people, just not sure, but, so that's the audience. The purpose is for the speaker to reflect on his own thoughts and ideas on the Duchess and the potential Duchess, and he seems, in doing so, he seems more and more controlling because he's just like a freak because he just wants to point out the flaws of the Duchess and his expectations. The subject is the Duchess, of course, by the title, but that's a big hint. But he presents like criticism and his ideas of the Duchess and what she should be. The tone is controlling and demented expectations of the speaker, which is really revealed in the last bit of the passage down here at the bottom, because it shows his, like, kind of his very unrealistic expectations and his entitlement that he or she feels they should receive. I know I keep saying he, sorry, but not necessarily he, but yeah, so it's just reveals his thoughts and ideas on the Duchess, which is the overall tone, because it's controlling and demented expectations.